This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Open phones this hour as we talk about your life and your money. The phone number is 888-825-5225. It's a free call, and some say the advice is worth exactly what you pay for it. Robin is in Cleveland, Ohio. Hey, Robin, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I have a question. My husband and I are finishing up baby step 3. We have about 5 months in savings, and we're debating on whether we should refinance our home. We have $100,000 on our house, and we have around $60,000 on a second mortgage when we were doing Dave Ramsey-ish, and my husband built a barn that he uses as like a side business. But so we were wondering if we should refinance and can combine the barn and the house on the same payment plan.
Yeah. What's the interest rate on your first mortgage?
Our interest rate on the first mortgage is like a 3.7, and on the barn, it's like a 6.2.
Yeah. And you're going to stay in the home a while?
Oh, yeah. We don't plan on ever leaving.
Definitely refinance it. While you're at it, put it on 15-year. You can get cheaper on the barn and cheaper on the house. And so you got $160,000, 60,000 of which you're going to save 3 and some change, and you're probably going to save about 0.75% on the 100,000 on the first.
And my husband's concerned. He says he feels like he's starting over. I don't know how to help him through that. I don't feel like it's starting over because we've already been paying on the house for 10 years.
Yeah, there's some people don't. He's one of them. They have the idea that you pay all the interest up front and that he has to start over paying all the interest. And that's because when you look at an amortization schedule, when you look at your payment schedule and how much of it is going to interest out of the very first payment, it's almost all interest. And that makes you think you're prepaying interest up front sometimes. You're not. He's not starting over. So the way the interest is calculated on a traditional conventional mortgage is it's based on the outstanding balance that month. And so your very first payment, you have the largest outstanding balance you will ever have. And so you have so a higher percentage, 99% of that first payment goes to interest, right? You've seen that math schedule, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So let's just pretend. Let's pretend it was 3%, which would be 0.25 a month. 0.25% a month would be 3% a year. Okay. So whatever's outstanding that month, 0.25% is going to be owed on it. If your interest rate's 3%, and so he's not starting over. He's got $160,000, and 0.25% of that will go to 0.25% will be his portion of the payment, and the rest of it will be principal, which will be a tiny, tiny bit. But you're not starting over. Mortgages are not front loaded with interest.
Okay.
That's what he misunderstood that.
Yeah, that's what he's getting hung up on. He doesn't want to start over.
He's not starting over.
We're doing well.
He's not starting over. Okay. Starting in exactly the same place he is, but with a lower interest rate. Because this month he's going to get charged 1/12 of 6% and some change, which is 0.5% on the 60,000. This month he's going to get charged 1/12 of 3.7% on the 100,000, and the rest of it is going to go to principal. It's simple interest calculation. The outstanding balance times the interest rate is the amount of interest charged that month. There is not a front load on a mortgage. It's only charged for what you have outstanding. So you're not starting over. Do a 15-year fixed and refinance this puppy. You need to do it. TJ is in New York City. Hi, TJ. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, how's it going?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I'm 22. I just graduated in December of 2021. I got my job during Corona. I'm out of student debt, and I want to leave the job, and I'm still living with my parents. But the thing is, since I just turned debt free, I have $1,000 for emergency fund. I don't know if it's okay to leave or should I wait longer.
Leave what?
And
your parents or the job?
both.
Will you have another job lined up?
I have offers coming in, and I have a lot of interviews all the time. It's just when I do the numbers in my head, if I move out, I won't be making as much money as if I live at home in terms of how much I can take in, because obviously if I live at home, I don't have to worry about rent.
Well, anybody that has free rent has more money, no duh.
Right.
But
right.
at some point, that doesn't work. Like when you're 50 years old, that don't call me and say you want to live with mom because it's free, right? So you want to get out on your own and start your adult life. That's a normal process, young man. I'm proud of you. Do that, yes.
Okay. I was just wondering if
But can you afford it? I mean, how much are you going to be making at the new gig?
So right now, my average would be around $60,000.
Okay. And where are you going to be living doing that? What city?
I've been interviewing in places in New York, places in Connecticut, and places in Boston. So that's the question too. Is it okay to move far away from, like from from your parents or whatever the case may be? Like, because I might not know anyone in a new city.
Well, it's certainly not against the law. It's a matter emotionally. It's a matter emotionally and relationally what you want to do.
Right.
I'm kind of a homebody. If I'm gone very long, I miss my wife and my family and my kids so I like to get back home. I'm not somebody that likes to be far away. Other people want to be far, far away. There's nothing wrong. It's just a matter of how you want to live. What kind of a life do you want to create for yourself? But the three areas that you described are not far from New York City at all. Your parents are obviously in New York City, so but all three areas you described are very expensive areas to live in, and you're talking about only $60,000 income, which is great coming out of school. That's not a bad income, but it is not living in Manhattan income.
Yeah, and I realized that when I started looking for new jobs, that when that happens, I'm going to be making nothing in terms of savings. It's just going to all be going to rent or food or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, you need to lay out a written budget, not in your head, and develop a game plan that you can live on what you're going to be making in a certain area. Okay, and so if I take this job in Boston, I can get an apartment for this. I can pay my utilities, I can buy food, and this will be my income, and you need to project all of that out so that you're not, launching yourself into a problem. But you should be able to pull this off, and yes, you should do this. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, I got a great option to help you pay for your education. The Army National Guard. The Army National Guard believes you are the next greatest generation because you have proven that even in adversity, that you have what it takes to succeed. That's why they offer benefits like tuition assistance, career training, and a paycheck to help you avoid debt. No matter what your goals are, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more. Imagine what you could do if you had control of your most powerful wealth-building tool, your income. What if it wasn't all going to car payments and to credit card payments and to Sally Mae? How much different would your life look like if you had no payments? Your life would be incredible. It doesn't have to take as long as you think it's going to take to get there. It all starts with Financial Peace University, the class that's helped nearly 6 million people learn the proven plan to get out of debt and build wealth. But it's not enough to just learn the plan. You got to put it into action every day. And the way you do that is by budgeting with every dollar. You get every dollar and Financial Peace University and a bunch of other things only at Ramsey Plus with a Ramsey Plus membership. See, you can create the life where your money works for you, not against you. Wouldn't it be nice to have control of this subject? Yeah. Get out of debt fast and for good. Start your free trial of Ramsey Plus. Text TRIAL to 33789. Text TRIAL to 33789. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Open phones at 888-825-5225. John in Sunnyvale, California, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve, man. What's up?
Good. I just proposed and got engaged this past Saturday to my fiance.
Congratulations! Whoop, whoop, whoop. When's the wedding?
I think we want to schedule for 3 months. So basically either at the beginning of October or the very end of September.
Love it. Cool. Good for you.
I'm getting a move on it. Yeah, we're going to be sprinting for the next several weeks. Okay, so my question is, so she has student loan debt, $60K. I have student loan debt, $34K. And then I have another personal loan from a friend for $15,000. My fiance currently has $16,000. We'll come up with some more money over the next few months to fund the wedding. We'll probably try to keep it like $5,000. But I'm wondering, should she just throw that toward her student loan debt and bring in less into the marriage, or can we hang on to it so we can just completely wipe out my $15,000 personal loan? What do you think?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
They both got to go.
Yeah.
And so, you're going to throw it at one or the other within the next 3 months. And it's not going to change the outcome very much, whichever direction you go.
Yeah.
It's probably emotionally cleaner for her to throw her money at her debt. Because one of the things when you get married is it's emotionally, let's pretend that you were deeply in debt and she had no debt and a big pile of money. And then you get married and she pays off all your debt because we've joined accounts and joined our lives the way we should have. That always feels weird when you're doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Right, I do, yeah.
Yeah, you need to do it. It's the right thing to do, to learn to combine your lives. But it's a normal thing for that to feel weird. And so for her to reach over with the money she had and put it on what was your debt, now is our debt, feels a little weirder probably than just chunking it onto hers. It really doesn't matter, though. What's your income? What's her income?
I think she's in the 50,000 range, and I'm at 65.
Okay, so you're having $120,000 income, give or take. $115,000 income. And so, you just look at that and say, how quickly are we going to knock this whole thing out? Probably within 18 months, a year, 2 years, somewhere in there, you should be 100% debt free. And so it's not going to matter which way you go. I probably would go ahead and both of you start, once you've got your wedding budget set aside, both of you just start with your own plans and then combine them in October after the marriage. And hold on, I'm going to send you a copy of the Total Money Makeover to guide you through that. And that'll be our wedding gift to you guys. And congratulations. Hannah is with us in Indianapolis. Hi, Hannah. How are you?
I'm great, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So my main question is whether or not I should be planning to purchase a home in the next 2 to 3 years. I am 22, just graduated from undergrad. I have a pretty sizable savings from working throughout college. And I just started a graduate program that is about 8 to 10 years.
8 to 10 years?
Yeah. Yep.
What are you doing, having an elephant? What in the world? What takes 8 to 10 years to do?
I'm getting an MD and a PhD.
Why does that take 8 to 10 years?
Because I have to do both of them, and both of them are 4 years.
Why do you have to do both of them?
I want to go into medical research.
So a PhD will do that.
Yeah, but there's a very big shortage of physician scientists, and NIH talks about this sometimes. PhDs don't always have the medical knowledge to examine things from that certain perspective.
Yeah, that makes sense. Wow,
Yeah.
What an investment.
I know.
Of time, much less money.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a decade of your life going into this. Is there any way you can do one and then work on the other as adult education? And that's amazing. I'm amazed at your commitment. That's very impressive. Okay, so you have the money to pay. You're going to be in one location for both of these?
Yes.
And you have the money to pay for this all this tuition.
So that's kind of the reason I'm doing this program. The tuition is fully covered, and I get a $27,000
you're doing the MD
stipend.
PhD program. Now I see what you're doing. You got a fellowship. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You are a rock star. That's amazing. Good for you.
Thank you.
Okay. I can breathe better now, but it's still 8 years. So you are gonna be in one location the whole time. Yeah, I'd buy a house.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, inexpensive. I wouldn't go big dog here because I don't want it getting in the way of this education.
Right. Should I be looking into a condo?
Yeah, something where you don't have to screw with the maintenance. And I just don't want the real estate to be a distraction to this incredibly long and difficult goal that you have, but I think you can do it.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, you got a big commitment you've made here to yourself, and I don't want anything getting in the way of that because this is an incredible opportunity for you. Wow, you're something else. I'm impressed. That's amazing. Way to go, Hannah. Wow. So this is the way that you can become a medical doctor, by the way, and you become an employee of the university is essentially what the MD PhD program is for those of you listening. And it's very, very tough to get. There's just a handful of them around the nation that you can get each year, but you become an employee of the university. And so what she's going to be doing while she's doing this during 8 years, also she's going to be teaching at the university in different, undergrad classes and so forth as a prof. And in return, they, as an employee, in a sense, you get your MD PhD program. And so she's getting several hundreds of thousands of dollars of education there free. It's a pretty amazing thing she's pulled off. So for those of you who don't know why I'm aghast, number one, 8 years is freaking incredible. But number two, it's probably a $400,000 or $500,000 ticket she just got. That's pretty neat. And she's obviously brilliant. You don't get to do this unless you're really smart. That's how it works. So I don't qualify. And so I'm impressed. It's pretty impressive. Very cool. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Brenda says, in Michigan, can I buy life insurance on my ex-husband? No. I receive $400 a month from his Social Security. If he passed away, I would lose that. Whoopee. It's $4,800 a year. Go grow yourself a life. He's your ex. Move on with your life. If you're dependent on $400 a month, you need to work on other stuff. No, you don't need to buy life insurance. Can you? Yeah, you don't really have an insurable interest. You'd have to have his permission, and it wouldn't be much of a policy anyway to only cover $5,000 a year. You could check with Zander Insurance if you want to, and you might be able to. Would I? No. He's called the ex-husband for a reason. Ex. Move on. This is The Ramsey Show. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. Question from the lobby here at Ramsey Solutions. Kevin is with us. Hey, Kevin, how are you?
Hey, Dave. I'm great.
Good.
So my question today, I'm from California. I'm here visiting my brother who works at Ramsey Solutions.
Oh, fun.
And I have a super Silicon Valley question. I'm a engineering manager at a major tech company.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, my salary is well in excess of six figures.
Uh-huh.
But it's pretty much, at least for the last few tax years, been exactly half regular salary and exactly half company stock.
Uh-huh.
And so then it's very repeatable company stock investments that are going to last for 3 or 4 years.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted to ask this question because it's super common compensation package for engineers in Silicon Valley.
In Silicon Valley, for sure. Yeah.
And so the question is, if you say, not me, but if somebody was I'm making $400,000 a year,
mm-hmm.
and it's in half in salary and half in stock,
mm-hmm.
it isn't obviously guaranteed to remain consistent.
Mm-hmm.
How should I, in the crazy housing market there, what kind of income should I be thinking about in terms of the mortgage I can afford?
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe just your thought on how you would treat that type of income if you were managing it and
mm-hmm.
trying to count on a certain salary.
Right. Well, if you're going to live in Silicon Valley, you're going to be making, if you're going to buy a home, you're going to be making $400,000. Otherwise, you're not going to be living there. You'll be commuting in, okay? Because that's probably one of the most expensive pieces of real estate in the nation right now. Manhattan, Silicon Valley. That's two big dogs right there. So, you're going to count that income in your equation when you buy a house. You're going to say, I make $400,000 a year or whatever it is you make, okay? And so you're going to count that. Now, what that means is the stock that you're receiving typically is not restricted in this case, right?
You get it in 4-year chunks, and it vests every 6 months.
Okay, so it is restricted.
It's restricted, but it kind of starts to vest in a steady flow.
Right, but is it 4 years before that particular chunk is released?
It fully releases over the 4-year term, 6 months at a time.
Oh.
And that's a very common investment strategy from some of the companies.
Well, it depends on where they are in their maturity with their stock and so forth. But yeah, okay. You don't have access to it, so we can't count it. If you can't liquidate it, you can't use it to pay a bill.
Yeah.
Okay, it's that simple. So you can only count what you've got access to. Now, once you've gotten far enough into this, 4 years into this, then you're going to have it that much releasing regularly because it will have built up.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're 4 years in, then you count the whole thing, but you count what's releasing.
Yeah.
What you've got access to.
Makes sense.
For your calculation. So that answers the question on what you do for housing budget and so forth. Then the other issue is how much of this stock do you want to end up owning? I'm sure it's a wonderful company, and I'm sure the stock is wonderful. Do you really want all of your net worth? Because you're going to have millions of dollars of this stuff tied up in a single stock. My answer is no. I don't. I don't care who it is. I mean, probably the best stock out there would probably be Apple, right? As an example. And it's a gold standard. It's an incredible company, flushing cash. But they haven't always been. And anybody can make mistakes. Just ask Steve Jobs. And so, I'm not going to have all of my wealth in a single stock. That would scare the pee-wadding out of me. So I'm going to begin to liquidate it and move it into other things over time. I recommend that regardless of how you're getting a single stock, that you don't end up with more than 10% of your net worth in it.
Yep.
So I'm going to systematically be liquidating it. You're taxed on it anyway because it's compensation as you're receiving it. So you go ahead and liquidate it, and and again, that's just not to say that the company is not a good company. I don't care who it is, how stable they are, how big they are, what their track record is. I'm not having all of my wealth in one single stock. That's just playing Russian roulette, and I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to systematically roll out of it, and I'm going to count what's released, what I've got access to as my income for the calculation of getting your mortgage. Congratulations. Sounds like you got a fun gig, man.
Thank you.
Very cool. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Steve.
This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Bradley is, it's not, it's the Ramsey Show. I'm sorry. Bradley's in Atlanta, Georgia. Today it's the Dave Ramsey Show. Anyway, whatever. What's up, Bradley?
Hey, Dave. How you doing?
Better than I deserve, man. How can I help?
So I got a question. My wife and I have paid off about $60,000 since December. And we're through our emergency fund. And looking over the 401k, so I have a Roth and a pre-tax traditional. Mm-hmm. And I just want to see if I can get some clarification. I know I always hear you say you want to keep the government's hands off of it. And so I just want some clarification between the two.
Well, the Roth grows tax-free. The pre-tax, you don't pay taxes on the amount you put in until you pull it out years and years and years later, and you're going to pay taxes on the whole stinking thing. So let's say you steadily invest for a number of years and you have $1 million in your 401k. If it's a traditional, 100% of that million is taxable because you haven't paid taxes on what you put in yet, and you haven't paid taxes on the growth yet, and it's all taxable. So taxes on $1 million, let's say, is $300,000. Okay?
Right.
If it's a Roth and you have $1 million, 100% of it is yours. So it's a $300,000 swing on this answer per million that you end up with. So if you end up with a couple $1 million, it's a $600,000 difference. So you do the Roth, man. You do the Roth.
I see. Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much, Dave.
Thank you for the call. Nick is with us. Nick is in New Jersey. Hi, Nick. How are you?
Hi, Dave. How's it going?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I have a question. I'm currently living with my girlfriend, and we work at the same company, but in September I will be starting a new job, which is in a completely different location. So I'll be driving there. So she finds herself needing a car. So she's looking to buy a new car, which I know is a big no-no. And I'm just having trouble kind of convincing her not to do it. She's, like, in love with the car, and I feel like she's, like, setting her whole mind on wanting to do it. And I don't want to be, like, mean to her or, like, say, like, hey, like, you shouldn't do this, but not, like, be supportive or anything. So I guess how do I just walk that line?
Listen, when you love someone and they're doing something stupid, you're not supposed to be supportive.
Right.
You should not be supportive. Don't be so wishy-washy. I don't want to be supportive. Of course you don't want to be. You don't want to support them doing things that are going to bring harm to themselves. You love her. So, no, I'm not going to be supportive of stupid activities. And buying a brand new car when you're a broke single girl is a stupid idea. By the way, buying a brand new car is a stupid idea unless you've got at least $1 million net worth because they go down in value so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How old is she?
She's 24 and I'm 22.
Okay. All right, here's the thing. If you want to live your life like a child and say, YOLO, you only live once, I'm going to get me a new car, okay, then you can do that whether you're 24, whether you're 54, and you're what's called immature, okay? If you, I don't care what your age is, I'm talking about your emotional stability, your emotional maturity, because you're saying, thank God it's Friday, oh God it's Monday, and your planning window's about 4 feet long instead of having a runway that looks out into the future and says, what is a wise purchase that a freaking adult will make? And here's the thing, she doesn't make enough money to lose as much as she's going to lose the day she drives that car off the lot. When you drive that car over the curb and it goes blump, blump, that's $10,000. So, no, you buy a 2-year-old or older car. This is what millionaires do. They buy used cars and drive used cars until they're millionaires. And, no, I'm not going to be supportive of stupid stuff. She's hurting herself. So you want to sit down and kindly, gently go, the math on this doesn't work. It's not the right thing to do. You're not supposed to be supportive when people are doing dumb things. You're supposed to kindly and firmly be unsupportive. This is The Ramsey Show. Thanks for joining us, America. We're so glad you are here. Leiden is with us in Boise, Idaho. Is it Leiden? Is that correct?
Yes.
How can I help, sir?
Hi, Dave. Really good to talk to you. I have two questions for you. I'm a certified public accountant. 5 years ago, I purchased a practice from one of the partners in my firm for about $400,000. In the last 5 years, I've paid off $225,000 of that. I still owe $175,000. The last 2 years, working in taxes has been very interesting with all of the different law changes that we've experienced. And tax season has been extended over the last 2 years. And I think, unfortunately, I got a small look at what it's like to not go through a full tax season, a busy season. And I kind of liked it. So I'm thinking about changing my practice, perhaps selling it. And I wanted to know what your recommendations are, how you prepare, what steps need to be taken to make that step. The second one that I had is, what are your rules regarding the purchase of goodwill for people like CPAs, doctors, lawyers, those type of folks? I often consult with them, and I haven't heard a lot on your show regarding how or if you should purchase goodwill.
Yeah, I'm a utilitarian on that subject, meaning that the goodwill needs to produce revenue, otherwise it has no value.
Okay.
And so if the doctor's name is not adding bottom line to his practice, then his goodwill is questionable. It needs to create money, or it doesn't have value. You follow me? Now, there's other people that would argue against that mode of thinking, but if I'm buying something as an investor, we've been in business 35 years and, you're buying our name. Well, no, your name's not worth squat unless it's making money. That's what makes it worth something. And so that's, in a sense, goodwill, right? And the same is true in CPAs, the same is true in law firms, the same is true in other things. But your world is a little different. It may have more value there than it might other places. But truthfully, unless you can see your way to monetize it, or it is currently being monetized, it really doesn't have... It's a theory at that point, as far as I'm concerned. But again, I'm very utilitarian. I'm very practical on the way I look at that. So, as far as preparing your practice, I mean, you've probably coached people on this as much as I have. It's a matter of being able to prove the income and have reasonable expense lines and reasonable predictable revenue lines. And so if the revenue minus the expenses creates profit, no duh, and those are all predictable lines, then I've got a real easy valuation. I'm just going to say, okay, what kind of rate of return do I want? And it's your cap rate, right? You're going to just multiply it by 4 if you want a 25% rate of return on your net operating income, right? And so if you want 20% rate of return, you're going to multiply it by 5. I mean, it's a multiple of profits as a rate of return, is a valuation process that I would use if I'm buying a business. And the thing that we all get into, and you've seen this all the time, is these people walking around, they go, well, I don't really turn in all my revenue. I don't really pay taxes on all of it. Well, so you're willing to lie to the government, and I'm supposed to believe you on how much this thing's worth. I don't think so. I think we're going to count what you really turn in, dude. And you're not doing that kind of thing, obviously. But, what you've got to do is firm up a forecastable, believable future for a buyer. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I think the more you can paint that picture, and your buyer is God help you, a CPA, right? And so they're going to be a conservative buyer by their nature, and a detail-oriented person. So there's not going to be a lot of bravado or grandiosity around this. It's just going to be the numbers. I bet, because that's how you would do it, right? Probably how you did it when you bought it.
Yeah. Yes, it was, and I think that there are other ways of. I've seen other ways of selling practices. I've looked at buying other people out after I purchased my first practice, locals and others in bigger cities trying to expand. Mm-hmm. So I have seen other ways of doing it, and
there's plenty of other ways. I'm just saying you this is just the method I would use. But yeah, there's a lot of ways. I mean, you can do multiples of gross, and a business as standardized as yours, you can just take a top line and do a multiple. Radio business does that a lot. They'll take cash flow and do a multiple of cash flow instead of running it on straight net profit. But the only formula, I mean, I'm a simple guy. If I put in $100,000 and I want a 20% rate of return on that, that's $20,000. I want to see that come back. I want to see how that works. I want a 5-year payout, a 5-year break-even period on this investment. And that's how I'm going to approach it if I were doing the deal. So I think you know enough more than enough to pull this off and do it beautifully. And congratulations, by the way. Jerry is with us in New York City. Hi. How are you, Jerry?
Hey, Mr. Ramsey. How's everything?
Better than I deserve,
basically, sir. Good. Basically, I lived in New York City. I brought in Jersey, not too far over the bridge for location because I work here as a licensed pressure vessel inspector. Mm-hmm. And basically, I brought there, and I'm a disabled vet, so I basically get a tax break of 100% off a residency. I bought a multifamily, and I have to live there. So I want to rent out the other unit, which is a 5/3. It's a 3-bedroom. I'm renting. I'll stay in the 5-bedroom unit, 13 square foot basement. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to make sure I made the right decision because I don't know. It's in a flood zone. That's the problem, and it's always dwelling on me that I purchased this, and I don't know if it's a big deal or not.
Well, how much of a flood zone is it? I mean, you think you're going to get flooded, or is that just a technicality?
The last one was in 2012 with that storm.
Yeah, and how long was it before that? Before the other one?
Nothing dated that I looked at. I haven't
so there's only been one on record?
Yes, right.
Well, I don't think I'm worried about that.
There's a river that runs by. It's not too far. It's maybe about 500 yards away. There's commercial units there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not too worried about it because I'm prepared to defend my house.
Well, you bought flood insurance too.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I got elevation certificate to make sure that the insurance goes down.
I'm not worried about it.
Right.
One flood in the history of the property ever. And it was a freak event in 2012. I'm fine with that. I'm not worried about that.
Right. And then just the tolls and everything going back. But you know what it is? My job covers that. But they may have, geographically, it's in the area. That's pretty much it right there, Mr. Ramsey.
So you're worried about the flood and the tolls, but the tolls are paid for, so you're not worried about those.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
What's the real problem, man?
I just came out of the Navy. I did my 20 years, and I always wanted to get a house, and I finally did it. And it was the flood zone thing. My realtor, which is very close to me, she said, "Listen, this is an investment for you, if anything." And was just that.
Live there 3 years and move.
Absolutely.
You'll make some money on it, and you will have had a good experience.
And it has a 1,300 square foot basement, which I love, but I can't really dwell. You can't dwell on that town.
Exactly. Yeah, you're fine. You did good. Hey, thank you for your service, by the way. Appreciate you, man. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. Kelly Daniel is our associate director and phone screener, associate producer and phone screener. Ben is filling in for James Childs today. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host, and we'll be back. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. 225. Sarah starts off this hour in Seattle. Hi, Sarah. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing today?
Better than I deserve. What's up in your world?
Hey, so unfortunately, my marriage didn't work out the way I had planned. And as part of a divorce decree, I have to pay my ex about $75,000 out of our house. So I've been kind of looking at interest rates and where they've been going. And when I look at them, I see that I can get a lower interest rate, but higher origination fees. So my overall mortgage would be lower. Or I can get a higher interest rate and lower origination fees, so my overall mortgage payment would be higher. And I was just wondering which in the long run would be the better decision. I suspect I know, but I just want to get your opinion.
Now, points, you're talking about paying points to buy down the rate effectively. 1 point is 1% of your loan balance. 1 point will generally buy down your rate about 1/8 of a percent. Okay. Translation, 8 years to break even.
Okay.
If it drops your interest rate 1/8 of 1%, it takes you, and it costs you 1%, then it takes you 8 years to get that money back. If you don't keep the mortgage 8 years, you will lose money on having prepaid your interest with points. The average mortgage in America lasts 5.6 years.
Okay.
Because people refinance or sell or whatever. And so I would not pay points. I would go with the higher interest rate and the less up front, because you're in a life transition stage and you may not be in that house 5 years from now. Matter of fact, there's a high probability you won't be.
So because I live in such an affluent area, I don't know that I could afford. I was very fortunate, and I bought the house in 2009. in 2009. So it's more than doubled its value since then, and I could not buy into my neighborhood now. So I don't know that I could sell the house and be able to buy something comparable
today.
So I do plan
but that's not what my point is. My point is,
in 5 years it could be different.
In 5 years, I don't know what your life's going to look like. You could be making 6 times what you make now.
God willing.
Well, you could. You could discover fire. I don't know. I don't know what you're going to do in Seattle. You could do all kinds of magical things in Seattle, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so I don't know. I mean, I think your future's bright. So you've gone through hell recently, no question about that. But we're not going to project that as your future.
Yeah, and what you said, although it was different logic, is what I was thinking. And my thought was the difference in the monthly mortgage, how long would it take me to make up the origination fees?
8 years.
Which, yeah.
On average. Now, so you can do the math and say, okay, if I pay this many extra percentage points, what does it lower it? And you just divide it out. You can tell exactly what it's doing. But typically, it's around 1/8 of a percent. 0.125.
It would take me about 87 months to make up the difference.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it in my head it didn't, but then I was thinking about how long I would have.
We don't know. We don't know.
30, exactly.
And so it's not worth the gamble. If the break even was 2 years, we'd go with it. But the break even's not going to be 2 years. And so we're not going to go. So you're looking for what we call a PAR quote. 0 origination, 0 points.
Yes. Okay. PAR quote. I will remember that.
Yeah, and talk to Churchill Mortgage if you want a good one, because that's the company we've endorsed for 25 years here, and they do a great job, and they can definitely take care of you there. I'm sorry you're going through this, kiddo, but the future's bright. It's going to get better. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Amanda is in Canada. Hi, Amanda. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I was just calling. My husband and I are technically on baby step 3, but I will confess I have been cheating your system. We still have our credit card, and we do not do a monthly budget. I've been on step 3 since March 2020 because we've had to buy 2 cars, which we paid for with cash.
Good.
And we had a baby, so we had all the expenses of that too.
Oh, and there was this little COVID thing that happened. Yeah. Okay. Not a bad year.
No, it was quite the year. But I am now at the point where we get to the end of each month, and I have no idea where all of our money went, and I'm just sick and tired of it because we want to be saving to have our emergency fund and do a down payment on a house because we're currently renting.
Good.
But the thought of budgeting really freaks me out. My husband is in construction, so his income isn't necessarily always for sure each month. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not sure how you do a budget.
What freaks you out?
It's all the different what if that could come up in a month, or like if my husband works overtime, we get more money, or if he's sick a day, we lose money. And then how do you put that in a budget when you don't know what's going to happen ahead of time?
So you need a process and a system to handle the ups and downs and the irregular part of your world, the unpredictable part of your world, in order to not be freaked out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Is there something else freaking you out about the budget?
I love planning everything. I like knowing everything in advance, and
you're not going to be able to.
Yes.
Okay.
And
so here's how you do it. Okay. What portion of his income, like out of the last, how long has he been doing construction?
He's in year 4 of his apprenticeship.
Okay, let's just say for the last 3 years, what was his worst month of income? Just pick a rough number.
$2,000.
$2,000. What's his best?
About $5,000.
Okay, so that's our range of irregular income. And are you working outside the home as well?
I'm currently on maternity leave until next May.
Okay.
And with that, I get about $1,300 a month.
Okay, so we have $1,300 and $2,000 that we count on, right?
Right.
Okay. And so you do a budget on $3,300.
Okay.
And if you want to do a little bit more, because you probably could count on a little more than $2,000 out of him, right?
Yes.
So you pick the number you can count on. That's what my point is. And you run a budget on that, meaning you put that at the top of the page on your every dollar budget, and you give every dollar a name. And then you make a list of things you want to do or need to do that didn't make the cut. And you prioritize that list. If I get $1 more than $3,300, what am I going to do? I'm going to put it on number 1. Once number 1's done, I'm going to put it on number 2. Number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7. So you have a prioritized spending plan on items that didn't make the $3,300 budget. And now you have a system. Stop paying your overpriced wireless provider and switch to Pure Talk. They use the same network as the larger providers for much less. For just $30 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data with no contract. The average family saves over $70 a month by switching to Pure Talk. Just go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, simply smarter wireless. So when my wife and I were dating 40 years ago, I was driving a Monte Carlo with the second engine and the third transmission in it, and I had done all of the changes each time I stripped through one of those. And the old car it was just gone. I mean, it had 250,000 miles on it. I had worn it out 3 times over. And we're driving along. I had $1.16 in my checking account, and we're driving along on our second date, and I was explaining to her how someday I was going to be a millionaire. And we went across a railroad track, and the muffler fell off my car. This is a true story. Oh, and here's how stupid it was, okay? I actually had a toolbox in the trunk because I'm used to working on a car all the time because it was always falling apart, and 2 towels because the muffler had fallen off before. 1 towel to lay on, 1 to pick the muffler up with and put it back on, and 9/16 put that U-clamp back and put the muffler back in place, and the 9/16 Craftsman and ratcheted it back up on there. I don't work on my cars anymore. I lifted the hood on one of them the other day. I don't even know what the flip is in there. It looks like a computer or something is in there. I don't have any idea. The last time I worked on a car, it had a spark plug, not a fuel injector. And I don't DIY my cars. By the way, I don't pull my own teeth either. And I teach investing for a living, and America comes to me to learn how to handle money and how to invest, and I don't do my own investing. I understand it, but I don't do my own. I go to a SmartVestor Pro, and I talk to my guy that I've used for 15 years. It's my friend that's a SmartVestor Pro here in town, and he and I talk about my mutual funds, and we look at other investments we can do, and he schools me, and I school him back and forth, and then we decide what I'm going to do. I have a pro in my corner, and some of you are out there, I'm going to do it myself. Well, yeah, go ahead and pull your own teeth, stupid. That's just dumb, okay? You need a pro in your corner. You don't do investing DIY. Do it yourself is good for some things. But, the pandemic taught us that a whole bunch of you jumped out because you freaked out, and you jumped out when the market dove down about 14 months ago now. The market tanked on pandemic fears, and you sold at the bottom because you didn't have somebody in your corner talking you off the ledge. And we've got all kinds of research that says that people do it yourself investing screw up all the time. Don't do it. Put somebody in your corner. RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor will hook you up with one of these SmartVestor Pros that we recommend. It'll hook you up with a list of them in your areas, and you can decide who you want to use and how you want to do it. But you're looking for somebody with the heart of a teacher, and don't do it yourself. There's some things. It's not that complicated, but I don't do it myself, and I know what the flip I'm doing. I have somebody in my corner, SmartVestor. Go to RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor. Daryl Lynn, what is this one? I don't know. Daryl Lynn is in Bend, Oregon. Hey, Daryl Lynn, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm destroying your name. What is it?
Daryl Ann.
Daryl Ann. Okay, Daryl Ann. I'm so sorry. How can I help?
No, you're fine. I have a quick question about a truck loan we just got. My husband went and bought a truck for his business, And so my question is, should we pay off the truck loan with our personal finances because we have some savings? We're looking at buying a house eventually. So we have a down payment savings in the bank right now, and we could pay off the truck in full, but it wouldn't be the business account paying off the truck right now. It would be the personal savings account.
Darling, it's a personal loan. He signed for it personally. It's not a business loan.
Yeah, our business is not very big.
He just justified buying a truck that he didn't need and went and bought himself a dadgum truck. Didn't he?
Pretty brand new one.
Yeah. He went and bought him a boy toy and called it business. I'm calling BS. Yeah, just pay it off. It was a stupid idea, and you can't justify it and call it business because it's not a business loan. The bank didn't make the business loan. The bank made you a loan. It's personal. You're personally liable on this.
Yeah, we'll use it for the business because he has a guiding business for hunting, and so he had to get a truck for that. But
so how much does he make in his guiding business?
Around $80,000 this year.
Okay, and what did the truck cost?
$35,000.
Yeah. See, I told you it's BS, didn't I? There's no way you take an $80,000 gross revenue business and do a $35,000 investment that you could have done for $5,000. And a $5,000 truck will do a guiding business. So the other $30,000 that he spent was because he wanted a truck. That's what this was. And this is a classic small business mistake, by the way. Everybody does it. But yeah, you guys my point is, I'm not going to make a big deal about this one, but you guys got to stop that crap because it's going to make it's an excuse to continue to do stupid. And you can't do it. So you shouldn't have bought it. Bad idea. Can't business justify it. That's just not the truth. Okay. So anyway, pay it off and don't do this kind of stuff again. Do not do this kind of stuff again. Christina is with us in Dallas, Texas. Hi, Christina. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I'm getting married in September, and I just wanted your advice. My fiance has a house and would prefer if I move in with him when we get married, but I would actually prefer to buy a house together to start out our new life instead of moving into his bachelor pad. In terms of the background, he has about $100,000 worth of debt. That's between student loans, car payments, credit cards. I don't have any debt. I'd be coming with about $140,000 cash. And that's between cash and some in my brokerage account. And I wanted to use the money for a down payment on a house. And if he does sell his, then he will essentially wipe out all of his debt with the equity that he gets from his house. And if I do move into his house, is some deferred maintenance that has to happen. And also, I would prefer if there were some renovations done as well to make it more our house. So I just wanted your advice as to what we should do. If I moved in,
if he sells the house that he owns now, when you get married, if he sells it, what will he put in his pocket? How much equity's he got?
He would put at least $160,000 in his pocket.
Okay, so you have $300,000 between you, and he has $100 and what in debt?
About $100,000 in debt.
Okay, so you're gonna have $200,000 left over for a down payment, right?
Yes.
After you're debt free. So you sell his house, and you take a $200,000 down payment and buy the house together, and you're debt free.
Okay. One of the things we were thinking of doing since the market is so crazy was buying a house first and then turning around and selling his.
No.
Just so we're not kind of in a...
No.
No? Okay.
No. You go buy a house after you're married and after his sells. You guys got enough debt without ending up owning two houses.
Agreed. Yeah. And in the event where we have trouble finding a house because
you go rent something for 6 months. Whoop-de-doop-de. You just got married.
Okay.
But you're not going to have that much trouble. Just calm down. You got $200,000 walking around in your pocket. Surely to God you can find a house in Dallas, Texas to live in.
It's true.
There's a lot of houses that have been there. There's a lot of houses there. Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, just get the house, get married, sell his bachelor. He can go ahead and sell it now if he wants, move into an apartment. He could do that before you get married. I mean, he can sell it now and move in an apartment for a few months, and then you can join him in the apartment while y'all look for a house. That'd be okay. Join him in the apartment after marriage, and then y'all go look for a house. He's out of debt, got some money in his pocket. You got your money, put it together. We go buy us a house while we're living in the apartment. That way you got a little patience and you don't have to freak out. That's all right. Go ahead and sell it now. It gives you plenty of time. Don't get caught with 2 payments. Bad idea. This is the Ramsey Show. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Michaela is with us. Hi, Michaela. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am better than I deserve. Where do you live?
I live in Paducah, Kentucky.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And how much have you paid off?
$33,493 and something cents. 87
awesome.
cents.
Good for you. And your range of income? I'm sorry, how long did that take?
18 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
About 70,000.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
I'm a labor and delivery nurse.
You're a delivery nurse?
Labor and delivery,
Labor and delivery. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's a fun job.
I love it.
Yeah, good for you. That's great.
Yeah.
So $33,000 in debt was what?
Student loans and a car loan.
How much of it was car?
About 10,000.
It's about 23 in student loans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How old are you?
23.
Okay. So you just come out of school and attack this, or tell me the story. What happened?
Yeah. Well, we like to say I was living in stupid when I was in school.
Okay.
My parents saved money, and so I could have paid cash for college, but my lifestyle wasn't really accepting it. So I took out unnecessary loans, and then it kind of came back to the Lord January 2019, graduated May 2019, and then moved from Texas to Kentucky in July and decided that I didn't want debt and I didn't want to do it anymore. So just got rid of it.
Game on.
Yep.
So you grew up knowing better.
Yes.
And so mom and dad were cheering you on when you woke up, huh?
Oh, yeah.
So you got the new job, passed the bars, or passed your boards, got to be a nurse,
Yeah.
starting the big girl job, all that stuff, and here we go, game on.
Yeah.
And 18 months later, you're done.
Yes.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you. That's so cool. I'm so proud of you. I bet your mom and dad are.
Oh, they're super proud.
I bet. I bet. Who came along with you? Somebody. I see somebody in the peanut gallery over here.
Yes, this is Papa. He's my grandpa.
Oh, wow.
So
he's super proud then.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Good. Gets to watch his grandbaby be smart. That's a good thing. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Neat. Very neat. So, how did you connect to us?
Well, my parents made me take Financial Peace University senior year of high school before I graduated.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew about you for a while, ignored it for a long time.
But you flunked the class.
I did great in the class in high school, and then I just forgot it all.
I know, I'm kidding. You didn't take it with you to college.
No,
I got you.
not
okay.
at all.
All right. So you knew what to do.
Yes.
And did you go back and review that stuff or what?
Yeah, Mom and Dad reviewed it with me a little bit. Mom helped me with budgets all the time because I got really frustrated a lot. But yeah, we just kind of reviewed it, and
So they really jumped in and coached you through this 18-month time.
Oh, yeah.
And you accepted that coaching?
Yeah, willingly, yes.
Yeah. Good for you. That's very neat. I like this story.
Yeah.
Good story. So now you're a pro. You paid off $33,000. You've redeemed yourself.
Yeah.
What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Oh, gosh. Budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
I use that EveryDollar app, and it's like my Bible, my little lifeline. So I use that, and I mean, it was really hard work. I worked lots of overtime and on-call shifts, and anything extra went straight to the debt. So it was hard work, but I mean, now it's all my money. So
So 18 months, tough. Was it worth it?
Oh, yeah.
How's it feel now?
Oh, it's so good. I actually have my full emergency fund, so now I get to invest and have fun.
With your story, you kind of got to feel almost like clean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like you cleaned up a dirty spot or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Good for you. Very good. Excellent, excellent. What was the hardest part of this for you? All the hard hours or what?
Well, yeah. Probably the budgeting and the planning. I'm super planner. I'm super focused, but if anything is kind of off a little bit, like I kept wanting to pay it off faster and faster and faster, which I did pay it off 6 months faster than I thought. So it took mom and dad to kind of be like, no, hey, you're paying it off. You're doing great. You're setting aside money. So
yeah, I mean, you were doing a couple grand a month here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty substantial.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
So you're 23 years old, 100% debt free, and you have all of that in your rearview mirror. Will you ever go back in debt now?
Oh, gosh, no.
Too much trouble.
No.
I love it. Well done. Very well done. We're very proud of you.
Thank you.
Good job. And obviously your family is as well. So excellent, excellent job. You're inspiring.
Thank you.
Very, very good. Yeah, you're not a victim. You decided to take it on head on. Good, very good, very good. We got a copy of The Legacy Journey for you.
Awesome.
That's the next chapter in your story. You've changed your whole legacy with this knowledge and the maturity you've used to attack it and to clean up the mess and to move forward without it. That's very, very good. And a copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give to somebody else and help them start their journey, the whole thing. So very, very, very good. All right, Michaela from Paducah, Kentucky. Labor and delivery nurse, 23 years old. $33,000 paid off in 18 months, making $70,000. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt-free!
Yeah! I love it! Yeah! Now, that one was for all you moms and dads that have raised financial peace babies and you are worried that they lost their minds. They may lose their minds, but they can go find them. And Michaela did. She did a great job of bringing it back around. That's excellent. Excellent stuff. Yeah, I swear, y'all, the hardest part of parenting is when your kids are old enough to make their own decisions. Like they're grown-ups and stuff, and you can't tell them what to do anymore. And you just have to watch them make their own decisions. Mine, thankfully, have made really good decisions. I don't really have any huge critique of my kids. But, man, watching people that you love, that you can't tell them what to do stupid stuff, is painful. It's just painful. And, and then to see her come back around, that's just a wonderful story of redemption right there. Lots of financial peace babies out there. I've been doing this show a long time. So a lot of these young folk in their 30s and 20s grew up listening to this old man talk about getting out of debt and living on a budget and living on less than you make. And, it's weird. That voice just comes back in your head when you need it. It's funny how that works. And so honored to get to talk to yet another generation of this. Very, very well done. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Tyler's in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Hey, Tyler, what's up?
Hey, thanks for taking the call. My question is in regard to my student loans. And I know kind of today this isn't relevant, but if the CARES Act is finished in September, like they're saying it is, when student loans start bringing back the interest rates, I was wondering, is it in my best interest to look at refinancing my student loans at that point in time?
Sure, if you can get a lower rate.
Okay.
You only can do a student loan refi one time, and so it needs to be a lower rate.
Okay, and that's why I asked.
Now, let me ask you this. How much student loan debt do you have?
Today, I have $40,000.
And what's your household income?
Around 56.
Okay, so when are you going to pay this off?
Well, if I keep in the debt snowball like it's laid out now, these are spaced out over 8 loans, so the student loan portion of everything would be around 16 months.
Okay. Well, you're not going to save a lot by refinancing, but you can refinance. It doesn't cost anything to refinance. But, okay. I mean, if you save 1% for 16 months on $40,000, it's not spit. mean, we're talking about $400 or $500 here.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's okay, but it doesn't change your life. What changes your life is knocking these stinking things in the head and killing them.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, finish the debt snowball with great intensity is 98% of your issue. 2% of your issue, 1% of your issue is your interest rate. Because you're not going to have them for very long. The interest rate doesn't matter much when you're going to have it for a very, very short period of time. That's the point. So, good job, man. Good job. You're paying attention. I'm proud of you. This is The Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us, America. This is The Ramsey Show. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Diana is in Jackson, Mississippi. Hi, Diana. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing fine. Thank you for taking my call. I am a recent retiree. I retired last year, and I have a 403B that was rolled over into an IRA, and right now in the market it's worth $35,000. I've got debt at $38,000, not counting my house, and I was thinking about using that $35,000 in the IRA to pay that debt off, but I would have to pay taxes on that money. On top of that, that was going to be my baby step number 3, which is that 3-month backup emergency fund. So I'm looking at, I have about almost $6,000 coming in each month with military retirement, my state teaching retirement, and I just started Social Security in April. And I was wondering, is it wise to use that IRA money to pay that debt off?
Is that the only nest egg you have?
No, I've got an annuity that won't mature for another 4 years, and
what is it worth?
Right now, it's at $1,900.
Dollars? Oh, you're talking about monthly income.
My monthly income is $5,900.
No. I mean, when you say $1,900, that's the total balance of the annuity, or that's the income it's going to create?
What happened is I had an annuity, and I foolishly let that $7,000 be taken out and reinvested in another company's annuity, and I found out that person didn't take my $7,000 and put it in an annuity. He put it in a retirement fund and took $100 of it and started a bank account of $100. I just found this out last year.
Okay, but so the whole account is only worth $2,000.
Right.
Do you have any other money? That's your only nest egg is $38,000 plus that?
I have my $1,000 emergency fund. I have the $35,000 in the IRA.
Yes, ma'am.
I've got 2 uniform gifts to minors for my granddaughters. I won't mess with them. One's worth, I think, $7,000, and one's worth about $3,000. And then I just have my retirement, military retirement, and
so basically, you're planning on living off of the income stream of the Social Security, your military retirement, and your pension fund,
state
right?
Retirement, right?
Because you don't have any money.
Not really.
Not to amount to anything. Okay. All right. I'm just trying to make sure you didn't have $500,000 laying over in some account. That's what I was trying to understand.
No.
Okay. All right.
No, I don't.
So no, ma'am, I would not cash that out. No, I would not cash that out. I would use the income that you have to pay off your debt as quickly as you can, and then continue and use the income that you have and get your home paid off. How much do you owe on your home?
$62,000. I just refinanced it from a 5.4% interest rate to 2.5% interest rate.
That was a good move. Okay. Yeah, so here's the thing. You've got the other debt and the $62,000, and you've got a wonderful monthly income to attack it all with, and you're 63. So over the next 4 or 5 years, I want you to pay off all of it. I want you to be 100% debt-free before you're 70, okay?
I sure will try.
No, you can do it. You can do it, but it's time for you to concentrate, because you don't need all these payments hanging around your neck, mortgage or otherwise, going up into your later years. And so you've worked too hard to end up broke at the end of this story. So thank you for your service, by the way, in the military. We appreciate you. Aniko is with us. Aniko is in Bend, Oregon. Hi, Aniko. How are you?
Hi. It's Aniko.
Aniko. See, I screwed it up. I'm sorry. I was trying so hard. What's up? How can I help?
It's okay. My joke is I'm either on or off.
Okay.
So I got to tell you, you came into my life when my child was born 17 years ago. And I've been a pretty good kid. I'm 51 years old. And I was ready to retire, had no debt, had a house, and had left my ex-husband and my son set up to run a business that we started, which was a movie theater, and COVID hit and killed us because we still kind of function as a family, divorced. I panicked. I sold my house to take my equity to limp the theater along until all the COVID shutdowns stopped, and my ex-husband did a nice thing and took over taking care of his elderly father and bought a home and went into construction and made money because he needed to make money, and I had money from equity to live on until all this got straightened out. And the goal has always been to let our son take over this movie theater that has helped us down, that was closed for 25 years, that we had refurbished and reopened after being closed for 25 years. It's a historic theater. And I'm sitting here and I'm hearing more about COVID stuff and the possibility of things closing again. And I was so close, Dave. I followed all of your steps. And currently I don't have any debt except for the mortgage on the theater. And I can't get a bank to figure out how to do a mixed-use loan for $460,000 on a property that is tax assessed at $850,000. I don't know what to do, and I don't want to make the wrong decision for my son's future success. And I've got
your son's future success is not defined by this theater.
Okay.
Your son's future success is defined by the work ethic and the character that you have passed on to him while you worked on this theater, and the example that you and your ex have set for your son. That's what his future success is going to be based on. If Ramsey Investments ends up worth, Ramsey Solutions ends up worth nothing tomorrow, my kids are going to be just fine because their future success is not based on the value of this company.
Okay.
So you need to sell this stupid theater. It's a chain around your neck. It's a dream that turned into a nightmare. That's what I heard. Did I miss something?
No. I'm sorry. I'm crying.
It's okay. You've invested so much into this. It hurts. And when you turn the key on a dream that turned into a nightmare and you walk away, which is what we're doing while we're talking right here, it hurts like crap. Your heart breaks because you've been heavily invested in this. And that just makes you human, and it means you were all in. It means you gave it everything you had. Hey, you didn't invent COVID. It isn't your fault. You got screwed by a pandemic. Can you sell the stupid thing now?
I had an interested party for the tax assessed value.
Take it.
And take it.
Take it.
So the money that I would make off of that I don't know what to do with that money.
Well, you'd have $400,000 in your pocket, sounds to me like, right?
I will, yeah. If I sell it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a smile on your face. And crap in your rearview mirror.
I'm literally sitting in my car right now at the dog park because I gave up my dog's backyard because we moved.
Yeah.
I moved into this theater, and
So go get you a life back. This thing took everything from you. Now you take it back.
Well, I appreciate that.
You do what you want to do. If I woke up in your shoes, that's what I would do.
I appreciate that. I got to look out for this town.
I think you're a good mom, and I think you gave something your haul, and it's time to cut bait. Let this one go. Let this one go. Move on. $400,000 gives you a fresh new start. You're not tied into your ex. You and your son can make a legacy for him. You're still young. You got plenty of things you can do here. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer for The Ramsey Show. This episode is over, but if you heard about an event, product, or service and didn't have a chance to write it down, don't worry. We list everything you've heard about during this episode in the podcast show notes section or head to theramseyshow.com. Thanks for listening.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us, America. Open phones this hour as we talk to you about your life and about your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Dacio starts us off this hour in Bloomington, Illinois. Hey, Dacio, what's up?
Hello, Dave. Thanks for taking my call. Can you hear me?
Sure. How can I help?
Hey, my wife and I are on baby steps 4, 5, and 6. We're expecting our first baby in about 10 weeks. So
congratulations.
Thank you very much. So my question is, we've piled up some money to, just in case of an emergency to make sure that mom and baby come back home safely.
In addition to your emergency fund?
Correct, yes.
Oh, okay.
Above what we have saved up for emergency fund, just in case something highly unexpected happens, but being conservative. So when they do come back home, and hopefully things will be just fine, my question is, should we utilize that money and throw it at baby step 4 and potentially fully fund my baby girl's college fund, or
that'd be baby step 5.
Sure. Yeah.
Baby step 5's college.
Okay, so just throw all of it in there?
No. So baby step 4 is 15% of your income going into retirement. You should already be doing that.
Correct, we're doing that.
Okay, so you don't need to do anything else with baby step 4. Baby step 5 is saved for kids' college. Now, how much money do you have saved for this baby? This extra emergency fund?
About $50,000.
$50,000? Dadgum. Okay, well, you're really safe, that's for sure. Yeah, so, okay. Sit down with your SmartVestor Pro, and most 529s you're limited to 10K. Some of them you can do more depending on which one you choose and how you choose to do it. But sit down with your SmartVestor Pro, and you can probably fully fund this kid's college, out of this money. That's probably what I would do, and just kind of check that box and go, okay, what are we projecting we need when the kid is 18 years from now to go to school, and just based on that, let's back into how much we need to drop into that 529 and make sure it's the kind of 529 with a SmartVestor Pro that you choose the mutual funds and you put it in the 4 types of mutual funds that we talk about: growth, growth and income, aggressive growth, and international. And then whatever you don't use out of this $50,000 for the kids' college funding, you throw it at your mortgage because you're in baby steps 4, 5, and 6, and that's how it works. Hey, thanks for the call. Mike's in Spokane, Washington. Hey, Mike, what's up?
Nothing much. Enjoying life. What about you?
It's just the same, sir. How can I help?
All right. So, thankfully, because of financial peace, I learned the importance of wills. Got my parents to finally make one. Well, my great uncle is also wanting to do that, and he's wanting to leave me and my kids everything he has. But I've seen kind of the lifestyle he has. He kind of has a debt lifestyle. He's okay with having debt. And I don't have a home. Me and my wife only make around like $40,000 with me just working her going to school. How do I sit down with him without sounding condescending or like demanding, letting him know like, hey, I'm glad you want us to take over everything you have, but how do I ask, like, or talk to him about, like, trying to get it so that when he passes away, I don't get a bunch of debt or, like, having to pay, like, property taxes and stuff and all this without sounding condescending, because I'm glad he's leaving it all to us. And I still have to sit down and have that deep conversation.
You don't really need to have that. You don't really need to have that conversation. You just do an audit when he passes away, and you figure out how much of his stuff you have to sell to clean up the mess he left. And then when you're done, you'll have money.
Okay.
So let's say there's some property taxes due. Obviously, this stuff is worth more than he owes on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's pretend for just a second, for cleanliness' sake, just to show you an example. Let's say he passed away, and you took everything he owned and you sold it all. And you paid all the debts that were against his estate out of that, which you would have to do. Okay? You're not liable for the debts, but the estate is liable for the debts. So anything that he owns has to stand good for anything he owes before you get an inheritance. Do you follow me?
Okay, so does that overrule, because what it sounds like with talking with him, he has a property, and from the way he's making it sound, obviously, I haven't had this conversation yet. I just found out about this yesterday. But does that overrule if he puts in his will that it's not to be sold until my kids are like 18, which is something he's wanting? He wants them to have it.
No, I'm not going to manage debt for him after he dies.
Okay.
So you could just tell him I would just tell him I don't want it.
Okay.
If you're going to make me manage something and handle debt for 20 years after you're gone, it's okay, I'll pass. Micromanager. Okay. If you want to just leave us the stuff, we'll make sure the kids are taken care of.
Okay.
I mean, you're really a micromanager when you're doing it from the grave.
Yeah, it's a whole new level of micromanaging at that point.
So, Unc, I'm not going to take on a bunch of debt. I'm not going to manage a bunch of debt for the kids. I'm not going to manage it for you after you're gone. So I'm honored by you wanting to leave us the stuff, and so we would happy to do this, happy to help, happy to, but what we'll require is that the assets are not frozen in some way, and we're not required to manage debt. Otherwise, we won't take it. We'll just turn it down.
Got it. Okay. Perfect.
So if he wants to leave it in trust and require that you manage debt until your children aren't minors anymore, I don't want to do that. I agree with you on that. You just sit down and you just be very honoring and just say, listen, it's not consistent with who we are, and I appreciate you. You're a wonderful person, and thank you for your generosity, but you're asking us to take on something that we don't believe in for a period of time, and we're not willing to do that. And so if you want to leave them the stuff, we'll take care of it. We'll sell off enough of it that it becomes debt-free, and we'll make sure the kids are blessed with your inheritance. But if you're going to require I get in the property management business and pay your bills after you're gone, I'll pass. So you can say it however bluntly or kindly or gently you want to say it, but you need to deliver the message. Because you're right, it's all normalized to him. He doesn't think anything about it, and he's going to think you're a weirdo, by the way, because you are a wonderful, wonderful weirdo, just like me. This is The Ramsey Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
Been paying attention to the real estate market. It's wacky out there. People making multiple offers, putting a house on the market, getting 17 offers in 24 hours and that kind of stuff. Man, it's crazy in some of these markets. It's intense. Obviously, there's a shortage of inventory, a lot of buyers looking, not a lot of sellers selling, and here we have a seller's market for sure. This is not amateur hour. If you want to buy a house right now, you need a pro in your corner to lead you through this process. If you want to sell a house in this environment and get the right amount for it and don't get all twisted up with some kookified buyer that's gone nuts in this current market, you need a pro to guide you through it. Now, our endorsed local providers have years of experience on their side. They're high octane, high protein, some of the best real estate agents in the nation. And our agents have got years of doing this. Now, they don't work for me. They're endorsed by me. Endorsed local providers are Ramsey trusted. We trust them. So go to RamseySolutions.com/agent and find a Ramsey trusted agent near you. RamseySolutions.com/agent. Sadie is with us in Lawton, Oklahoma. Hi, Sadie. How are you?
Good, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I'm in Oklahoma, and recently the oil field crashed. And while it was crashed, my parents did what they thought they had to do to get by, got in debt.
I'm sorry,
and
recently
now,
the what crash? Say that again?
The oil field.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So your parents were working in the oil field?
Yes. And while it crashed, my dad went and got his CDL and is now driving, him and my mom are driving campers all across the United States. But they're still in debt, and they're just struggling, and it's not good for their health. They're older. They're diabetic. My dad had a heart attack today. He was at the hospital. And basically, my brother and I want to sit down and have a talk with them that, stuff doesn't matter. We just want them here. They're gone all the time. This job isn't good for their health. How do we convince them to follow this plan when they, that's not how they live their life?
Well, you can't make adults do anything unless they're declared mentally incompetent by the courts.
Right. So my husband and I are following the plan. And basically, we just want to...
Well, they have to have an income, though. What are they going to do when they quit?
Yes. So my dad is right now 80% disabled through the Veterans Center. He has terrible, terrible knees, needs a double knee replacement, could be 100% disabled, and then find something for my mom to do. I just want to be able to find a way for them to still be here, to be able to take care of their health. This job is not good for their health.
Okay.
And so
the point is, our plan is about handling money. And they have to have money in order to handle money. They have to create an income. That's why they're not afraid of hard work and doing something uncomfortable. So what you have is a career crisis in your mind. That you want them to stop doing this and start doing something else. And so if you want them to not have an income, they're not going to buy that.
Right.
So what you need is a suggested career path. Like, what would you want your mom and dad to do? If if he's sitting around waiting on disability, he's not signing up for this trip, kiddo. He's not going to do it. He's not that kind of guy.
Correct.
So, what else can they do that allows them to come off the road and be there in Lawton, Oklahoma working?
Correct.
That's what you need. You need a suggestion, not a complaint. I understand you're scared for them, and I understand that they do need. I don't disagree with you that they need to come off the road. It sounds like it's really hard on them. I think your conclusion is correct, but you're asking me how to convince them, and your parents are old school. When in doubt, they go to work.
Yes.
Right? They're not. Correct. They don't feel entitled. They don't feel like somebody else is supposed to take care of them. When in doubt, they find something to do and they work. And so if you want them off the road, you need a suggestion where something your dad and mom can do there that's not the oil field and that's not driving campers over the road, right? And so I don't know what that is, but you might just sit down and say, hey, I love you and I'm concerned about you. What could you guys do if you came home? We'd even be willing to help you and come around you and so forth and make sure, because we're scared for you. And, what would be a great job, Dad, if you landed it back here?
Right.
Begin to talk it through with them, because if you can help them create some kind of an income there, and they're able to put their hand to the plow, so to speak, that's what's emotionally required for these folks to come off the road. Then once you've got that, then we can talk about putting them on a Ramsey plan. Right? We can talk about, say, hey, we're going to get you on a budget. We're going to get you out of debt. We're going to teach you to live on less than you make. And, I can help you with that part. But right now, I know these guys. They're old school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your dad has worked hard his whole life.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. He's a good man. And he is not afraid of hard work. He's not always managed the money that he made well, but he's always worked hard. And so that's how he's wired, and you have to find something that's congruent with that mentality to suggest. Quit and come home and sit on your butt, Dad, is not going to compute in his brain. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
I think I know this guy. I think I know who he is. And, so, he's done a lot of hard work in his life. So it's okay. But, he's going to be like, oh, that'd be great. How can I buy food? Well, you can live on your disability. I don't think so, honey. So that's the answer you're going to get. So if you find an alternative career idea or discuss it with them and brainstorm and come up with an alternative career idea, get them home, then we can get them into Financial Peace University inside, that's at Ramsey Plus, and, get them on every dollar, and we can have them manage the money. We know what they've got to work with then. That's very possible. Good question. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Our question of the day comes from a great American company, Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee, meaning even if you mismeasure, you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your window blinds for free. You ever seen a company that has a "you were stupid" guarantee? If I'm stupid and I mess this up, they replace it anyway. That's not on them, it's on me, but they still replace it. This is cool, y'all. You get free samples with these guys, free shipping, and the new promos they run all the time. You can save even more money. Get your window blinds at Blinds.com. Always use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal. Today's question's from Alicia in Florida. We've got $35,000 in student loan debt through Sally Mae. I only have a part-time job because my child requires a lot of medical attention. I've tried to refinance my student loans, but I keep getting denied. I could ask my husband to co-sign for me. Should we go that route? If not, what should I do? Your husband and you should be managing your money together. For better, for worse, in sickness and in health. And by the way, that child that you're taking care of is his too. And so we put all of the household income in one pile, your part-time income and his income, and we pay off your stinking student loan. That's what we do. This idea that you have to manage your student loan on a part-time income because your husband is off working and you're taking care of the kid that he helped create, that's BS. No, we work together on this, in sickness and in health, for rich or for poor. Unto thee all my worldly goods I pledge. The old-fashioned marriage vows said. Yeah, we combine our incomes. We combine our problems. We take care of each other. We are one unit when we are married. This is not a joint venture. It's a marriage. This is The Ramsey Show. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Austin and Miranda are with us. Hey, guys, how are ya?
Good.
Welcome. Where do y'all live?
We're from Austin, Texas. Yes.
Austin, Texas, and all the way to Nashville to do a debt-free screen. Yes. How much have you paid off?
$97,000.
All right. How long did that take?
Took us 14 months.
Mm-hmm. And your range of income during that time?
It was about $130 to $150.
Good. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm a state trooper.
And I'm a school-based speech therapist.
Awesome. Very cool, you guys. Very well done. What kind of debt was your $97,000?
Student loans.
All of it? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
How long you two been married?
3 years.
3 years.
Okay, so after you've been married a few months, you look up and you go, we got $100,000 worth of Sally Mae hanging out.
Yes.
Yep.
And we got to do something about this. Tell me the story. What happened?
So it was about 2 years. We were on the Dave-ish plan for about 2 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
I actually went through FPU during the academy.
Okay.
The FPU for government employees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I went through that, and it kind of gave me a little understanding about your plan, but we didn't fully
commit.
Yeah, we didn't commit to it until 14 months ago.
We were on the Dave-ish plan, so we did save up and pay off a car, and we were so proud of ourselves, but we didn't touch the student loans. We were like, that's impossible. We'll get to that later. And then January 2020, we were kind of at a crossroads. We were like, everyone around us was buying a house or starting their lives, and we're like, we want a house. We wanted one so bad. But we were kind of like, do we buy that or do we pay off our student loans? And then we were listening to your show daily, and we were like, we can't buy a house. We're broke. We don't have any money. So that's when we decided, let's just go ahead and pay off these student loans now.
Just dive in head first.
Yep.
And then COVID comes.
Right.
Yep.
Of course.
Yeah, perfect.
Right.
Which made it easier or harder?
Easier in that
you couldn't do anything.
We couldn't do anything.
Right, yeah.
No eating out, no movies. We were just stuck.
You
no
were
trips.
stuck at home paying off debt. Yeah,
Yes.
which is what you were going to be anyway, but now
so
everybody else was stuck at home.
It wasn't too bad, I guess.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. So did you guys, at school you were getting paid but probably weren't going in, but you were probably working your tail off as state trooper, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, very much, yeah.
And OT and everything else, all kinds of, everything going on.
Everything I could take.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, crazy time.
Yeah.
Crazy time. So you knock out $100,000 in just a little over a year. I mean, 97,000, that's impressive.
Yeah,
it
was a lot of work.
You were game on.
Yeah,
I mean, you were beans and rice and beans.
Yes.
We hit it with the gazelle intensity. After that first, snowball the first loan we paid off, we were like, whoa, we can actually do this. So he was working all the OT. He picked up a second job working overnight shifts. I went in over the summer to do some contract work, and every extra dollar, and we budgeted as well, every extra dollar that we could, we threw it towards our student loans.
Yeah.
And then at the time when we started this journey, we were living in a 3-bedroom rental with a yard for our dog, all of this stuff, and we realized we don't need this. We can downsize. So we ended up downsizing to a tiny 1-bedroom apartment, which was half of the rent we were paying. And he ended up working there too as a security.
Security. Yeah, they give you rent then. Yeah.
Get a little discount.
So we got a good discount, and we threw that extra chunk that we were paying for our rent at our other house towards our loans. Just every dollar, rice and beans, all that stuff. So.
Yeah, all for just 14 months. You could do anything for 14 months.
Right.
And you did.
Right.
Everything. Yeah.
And once we started, we were like, my thought was, why did we start this sooner? We could have started this
we could have done
a couple of years ago and been done already because we thought it was impossible, but it really was doable.
It's all about belief. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very impressive, you guys. Thanks. Very well done. You got to feel really accomplished.
We do.
It feels amazing, honestly. Yes. Yes. I mean, just us, we're like, if we did that, we can do
anything.
Almost anything.
Yeah, because you just go, all right, bring it on. Next thing,
exactly.
next thing, next thing. Good.
Yeah.
Well done. Okay, so when somebody says, wow, you guys paid off $97,000 in 14 months. How'd you do that? What do you tell them the key is?
Well, obviously budgeting. That was the first step. Budget and see where you can cut back, see what's a want versus a need, and then make a plan, make your goals. The debt snowball's there for a reason. It works. Commit. You've got to commit, find your why, and then just hit it.
Yeah. Find some reason to just go all in.
Yeah.
Just go crazy, beast mode. You just got to go. And that's so well done, you guys. I'm so proud of you. Who are your biggest cheerleaders?
Well, definitely each other. We worked together great.
We
learned a lot about ourselves too.
Almost daily. We'd have to do the math every week just to keep motivated. Like, okay, with this much OT, because we were working hard.
Yes.
We'd have to check in and be like, we can do this. But obviously our families too. Understanding
friends,
when we had to say no and things like that.
Yeah, they were very understanding about everything we were doing. So
yeah.
That's good. Very good. And now you are free. How's it feel?
Feels really good.
Amazing. Yes. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You ever go back in debt?
Never again. Never.
Not for a car?
Not for a car, not for anything.
All right. Good. Well, I'm proud of you guys. Very, very, very well done. Inspiring stuff. Yeah. So now you get to save for a house, right?
Yep.
Yes, that's the baby step 3B.
There you go.
Yes,
you're game on. Yeah, that's right. Good. Very good. You're in a great place. Well, we've got a copy of the Legacy Journey for you because it's the next chapter in your story. You're going to change your whole legacy with this, and you've just started. So really, really good stuff ahead of you. And like you said, once you've accomplished this, you can do almost anything. Also going to give you an extra copy of Total Money Makeover to give away and get somebody else started on their journey and pay it forward a little bit. And so all of that got just for you guys. So very, very well done. All right, Austin and Miranda from Austin, Texas. $97,000 paid off in 14 months. Getting it. Paid $100, making $130 to $150. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! Yeah! Whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah! Absolutely incredible, you guys. So when we did the millionaire study, the Ramsey research team, and we studied over 10,000 actual millionaires, not your broke brother-in-law with an opinion, not a Twitter troll living in his mother's basement, but actual millionaires who actually have $1 million or more. And we found out about them. You know what was very interesting? The top 5 professions that become a millionaire. Number 3 was teacher. Her. You know how often they were married to a policeman? Very often. Very often. So you guys have the perfect career match at your age to be future Baby Steps millionaires. You are right on track to do that. It happens all the time. They've got $150,000, $130,000 in household income. And by the way, only 33% of the millionaires that we studied, 33% never made, 1/3 of them never made a household income of over $100,000. They became millionaires with a household income under $100,000. 1/3 of them did. These guys got a head start. Now, 2/3 of them did have over $100,000, but almost none of them made $500,000 a year. Almost none of them made $400,000 a year. Most of them made $100,000 to $200,000, right in there. That's where it fell, right where you guys are sitting. So your case studies of future baby step millionaires. I mean, you fit the mold almost exactly. Because, if you can pay off $100,000 in 14 months, technically speaking, you could have $100,000 in the bank 14 months from today. You see how this is starting to work? Ta-da! Once you learn how to handle money and you make it behave instead of you wonder where it went, and you live in a total freaking chaos and try to out-earn your stupidity, once you stop that stuff and you go do what Austin and Miranda did, you get in Financial Peace University, over Ramsey Plus, you get this stuff going. Ding, ding, boys and girls. This is the way this works. I love it. I love it. What a sharp young couple. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Philippians 1:6, God who began the good work within you will continue his work until it is finally finished. Albert Einstein said, a person who never made a mistake never tried anything new. Yeah, you better be making some mistakes from time to time, folk. That's part of the process here. Brooke is with us in Las Vegas. Hi, Brooke. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, how are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I just have a quick question. I am a business owner, and I think about 2 years ago, opened up a Roth IRA. Mm-hmm. I've funded it to the max each year, but we'd like to start investing. My husband has a separate 401k plan through his company, but we'd like to start investing more, up to the 15%, if not more. And I'm wondering, once I max out both of the Roth, what kind of account to open next? We have a brokerage account, but I am wondering if there's a better solution as far as tax-wise when you go to pull out the money.
Okay, you shouldn't. I would not be doing anything in a brokerage account until you get to 15%. How much is in your brokerage account?
I think close to anywhere from, 50, because we took a hit. We're waiting on money to come back up. Obviously, the market's down a little bit, but about 60%. And actually what happened was
60%. You mean $60,000?
Or 60,000. I'm sorry.
Okay.
60,000. Yeah. My husband pulled out of his 401k plan because the company matches it because the options that they let him invest in weren't moving. So when he had the opportunity to pull out when it was I think during COVID last year, I can't remember what it was called.
No. Okay.
So we just took that money and rolled it over into another account so that it could be making money.
Absolutely horrible idea. Okay. You guys have to stop monkeying around with this stuff all the time. You need to get on a steady plan and be the tortoise, not the hare. So go to DaveRamsey.com, click on SmartVestor, and find a SmartVestor Pro in your area, a financial advisor to sit down with. And let's get that money out of a stupid brokerage account. And so you lost your IRA. He lost his 401k.
No. We still have our IRA.
I know. He cashed out his 401k and put it in a brokerage account. Ooh. Okay. Horrible.
Well, not all of it. He only took a portion of it.
I know, but $60,000 worth. So now we got that money just laying there. This is what government programs do.
It was actually, I think it was 45 he pulled out, and we've made money on it.
Okay. That's wonderful. Still a stupid idea. Okay. Anyway, now to answer your question, what's your household income?
About 130,000.
Okay. So 15% of that is going to be what? $18,000. Okay.
Right.
And so $18,000, that's $1,500 a month, needs to be going into something in good growth stock mutual funds. The best place to put it is where there is a match. Does his 401k have a match?
Right, they do. They match him dollar for dollar, up to 6%, I think. So he's already been doing that since he's been at the company.
We're going to do at least 6% first. And what is his income times 6% up towards our $18,000 for the year? Okay. The next best thing is a Roth. Does his 401k have a Roth option?
I don't believe so, but I opened up.
No. Let's stay with me. Stay with me here. Okay. Let's stick with his 401k Roth option. All right. Now, if it has a Roth option, and it probably does, that's what he needs to be in. Then you look at his selection of mutual funds and you pick the best ones, and your Smart Mr. Pro can help you look at what his options are inside there, and you stinking leave those alone once you pick them.
Right.
Because this is all growing tax-free with a match. No brokerage account in the freaking world is going to keep up with that. Even if the mutual funds are underperforming, they're going to be better at tax-free growth than what this crap you've been doing with your own over here with this brokerage account. Monkeying around with this has lost y'all so much money. Then we're going to do 2 Roth IRAs up to $6,000. That's $12,000. See, we're easily going to get to our $18,000 with this.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now, so the $18,000 is what we're after per year going in. So we're going to take the match at 6%. We're going to do your 2 Roth in good mutual funds, and then we're going to do more in his 401k, hopefully Roth, in not so good mutual funds, because it sounds like his options aren't that great. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's going to get us up to the 18%, $18,000 a year, which is 15% of your $130,000. And that's what you're going to do. Your SmartVestor Pro can help you lay all of that out and get all of that rolling. And of course, if you have any debt, we're going to use that brokerage account to clear that. If you don't have an emergency fund, we're going to use a brokerage account to create a 3 to 6 month expenses emergency fund. We're going to create a situation where all of those things are covered, all of the baby steps all the way through. And that is what we're going to do, Brooke. And then you're going to be on a steady plan. Thanks for the call. Okay, guys, let's step back up. The people that end up in the millionaire study being millionaires are the ones that steadily invest. Here's what the irony is. A lot of the millionaires that we studied were not expert investors who maximized rates of returns. Many times they had medium to poor, decent mutual funds that they were investing in. Almost the majority of them could have done better with their mutual fund selections, and yet they still became millionaires. And the Association of Actuaries did a study, which is like super nerds, okay, that says that 74% of the reason that someone becomes wealthy is savings rate. Now, it's not the rate that they make on their savings. It's that they constantly save a set percentage, a good percentage of their income, like 15% of your income in baby step 4, towards their investments. So here's the point. 74% of the people who become wealthy, that's almost all of them. That's statistically significant. do so not because of commissions or no commissions on their mutual funds, not because of their expense ratios on their mutual funds, and not even because of the rates of return on their mutual funds. It's because they keep doing it over and over and over and over again, and no one can talk them out of it. Savings rate, meaning they actually freaking invest. The secret to wealth is to invest, invest, invest. Don't stop investing. Invest, invest, invest. Don't stop investing. That's the secret. Now, I would like for you to, and I would like to pay less expenses on my investments. I would like for you to, and I would like to pick better mutual funds and get better rates of return. And those are all good things, but they are not the secret sauce. 74% of the reason that people become wealthy is they actually invest, and they 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 invest. That's simple, guys. It's that simple. And so you have got to be steady with this. Jumping in and out, trying to catch the market, trying to find the edge, trying to find some kind of secrets of the rich is so much BS, and it does not work. Getting frustrated because your stuff's not doing what it's supposed to do, and you move it all around all the time, you're constantly monkeying with this, is not the answer. Constantly, steadily invest, 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 invest. And that's how you get there. This is The Ramsey Show. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
This is James Childs, producer of The Ramsey Show. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Subscribe or follow today wherever you listen to podcasts.